Ben locked the front door of his barber shop, sighing as he looked around. The shop was silent now, the last customer long gone. The mirrors reflected the empty chairs, and the smell of hair cream lingered in the air. He picked up his broom and started sweeping the floor, gathering the small strands of hair into a neat pile. Welcome, my dear viewers. Please, if you're joining us for the first time, do well to subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories. It had been a long day, but business was good. People always came to him, trusting his hands to make them look perfect. He was the best barber in town. But Ben had a secret, a dark one. Every night, after cleaning up, he collected the hair from the floor and placed it in a small black bag. He never threw it away. Instead, he performed a ritual, something he had learned from an old woman years ago. She had told him hair had power. If he kept it and followed the ritual, he would never lose his skill. His shop would always be full. And she had been right. His business grew. Customers came from far and wide, always drawn to his hands, his talent. He didn't question it. He just followed the rules. Never let anyone take their hair. Never break the cycle. But that night, something felt different. As Ben swept the last bit of hair into the pile, he heard a sound. A whisper. Soft. Faint. His name. His heart pounded as he turned, eyes scanning the empty shop. "Who's there?" he asked, his voice shaky. No answer. He took a deep breath and shook his head. Maybe he was just tired. But then, something moved. The hair on the floor. It shifted slightly, as if touched by an invisible hand. His breath caught in his throat. His fingers tightened around the broom handle. Then, the shop door slammed shut. Ben jumped back, his pulse racing. The air felt heavy, pressing down on his chest. The lights flickered. A chill ran down his spine. He knew something was wrong. He took a step forward, but then he felt something crawling near his feet. He looked down, and his blood turned cold. The strands of hair were moving, crawling toward him like tiny black worms. His stomach twisted. This wasn't normal. This wasn't part of the ritual. He stumbled backward, his breathing uneven. "No," he whispered. "This can't be happening." But it was. The hair slithered across the floor, reaching for him. His hands started to tingle. He looked down and gasped. His fingers were swelling, the skin stretching unnaturally. A sharp pain shot through them. Something was inside. Crawling. Moving. He let out a strangled cry, shaking his hands, trying to get rid of the feeling, but it didn't stop. It only got worse. The pain burned through his skin, deep into his bones. He rushed to the sink, shoving his hands under the water, but nothing changed. His hands kept swelling, the skin turning rough and bumpy. They didn't look like hands anymore. They looked monstrous. Ben stumbled back, his mind racing. This had never happened before. The ritual had always worked. But something was different this time. Something had gone wrong. Then, he remembered. The man. Earlier that day, just before closing, a man had walked in. He had thick, dark hair, smooth and perfect. He had smiled as he sat in the chair. "Give me your best cut," he had said. "I have somewhere important to be." Ben had worked quickly, shaping and trimming, making sure everything was perfect. The man had relaxed, watching in the mirror. When Ben finished, the man stood up, running his fingers through his hair. "Perfect," he had said, smiling. Then, he did something that made Ben's blood turn to ice. He bent down and started picking up his own hair from the floor. Ben had felt his stomach drop. "Don't do that," he had said, his voice almost a whisper. The man had laughed. "Why not? It's just hair." He had gathered the strands, stuffing them into his pocket. Then he had walked out, whistling as he disappeared into the night. Ben had stood frozen, his heart pounding. He had let someone take their hair. He had broken the rule. And now he was paying for it. The pain in his hands grew worse. He fell to his knees, gasping. The crawling sensation was spreading. His arms burned. His chest tightened. He could barely breathe. Then the whispers returned. Louder this time. Closer. Surrounding him. Ben. His name echoed through the shop. The lights flickered wildly. Shadows moved along the walls. The mirrors shook. He turned, his body trembling. The reflection staring back at him wasn't his own. It was the man. But his face was wrong. Twisted. Hollow. His mouth stretched into a grin too wide for any human. His eyes, empty black voids, locked onto Ben's. Ben tried to scream, but no sound came out. The reflection moved closer. Closer. Until it wasn't in the mirror anymore. It was behind him. Cold breath tickled his ear. A voice, low and sharp. "You broke the rule." Ben's vision blurred. His body convulsed. The whispers became deafening. The pain unbearable. His skin cracked. His bones twisted. His breath came in ragged gasps. Then, darkness. The barber shop stayed empty for weeks. People walked past, glancing at the dark windows, whispering about what had happened. No one saw Ben again. No one dared to enter. They said at night, if you listened closely, you could still hear the whispers. Some swore they saw movement inside. The shadows shifting. The mirrors flickering. But no one dared to check. No one wanted to know. Until one night. A young man, new in town, stood outside the old shop. Curious. Unafraid. He pushed the door open. He went in. The air inside was thick and cold. The mirrors were covered in dust. The chairs stood empty. And in the center of the shop on the old barber chair sat a small black bag. He picked it up. Opened it. Inside, strands of hair. Immediately the door slammed shut behind him. He never came out of the barber shop and no one heard about him ever again. The whispers returned. And the curse lived on.